morning, fine folks. Welcome to beautiful Stone Mountain, Georgia. If you're following the 120-day thing, this is day 93. But we're not talking about nutrition today. I want to show you one of my favorite spots and give you a quick update on the training program. So let me get up on this rock and we'll talk a little bit about training methodology. First good view of the rock since we left our horse at the stall. Good morning. Stone Mountain Aqueduct, feeding the grist mill. Now we get to make our push for the summit. First view of the Atlanta skyline. Come down up there, my favorite part of the climb. The Stairmaster. We run this. Another good skyline view. Probably don't see it in there. One last push. That last kick was a doozy. You get kick after kick, gets steeper each time. We're about there. Here we are, 360 degrees, sucking wind. I've had a few people ask me about the trekking poles. These are the most unexpected piece of equipment for me. 10 years ago, you would see people in Europe using these for ultra marathons, but in American ultramarathon culture and even AT thru hike culture, trekking poles were less common. Over the recent years, that's changed among AT thru hikers and ultra runners. I think one reason they were adopted in Europe first is because they have more winter alpine sports. So if they're skiing, snowshoeing, doing winter mountaineering, it's a natural progression to keep the poles with you when the snow melts. My attitude towards them was, I don't want another piece of equipment to keep up with. I like to have my hands free. I like to be able to use them. Like, I don't want to carry something extra. Wow, I love them now. One of the fundamental things that the trekking poles does for us is it gives us some benefits of a quadruped. When we stand upright and become bipedal, we gain a lot, primarily endurance. We're the best in the animal kingdom, but we also give up a lot, most notably speed. The other thing we give up is the ability to spread the work across our entire body, transferring most of the work to our lower body. The trekking poles allow us to be somewhat quadrupedic. One thing that is interesting is the trekking poles do not save energy. Going over the same distance, same elevation change, you will actually expend more energy using the poles than not, but we get to spread the work over our entire body. Another thing that these help with is biomechanics. It gets your upper body moving with your lower body. I find myself when I'm not carrying these, I move my arms as if I were. So I'll go ahead and give you the basics of how to use these. This is not a complete tutorial, but this will give you a general idea to get started. First of all, the way you put your hands through the strap, you let it hang down naturally, and you reach your hand up from underneath on top like this, so that the webbing is in the webbing of your hand. We try not to distribute the force into our grip. We put the force into the straps. So when you're using them, you're putting the weight in the straps and you're keeping your grip pretty loose. We can use them on flat ground, going uphill, going downhill. And the way I get started is I let them drag behind me and move naturally. And the sensation you get is that you're pushing behind you. So that's just the basics of trekking poles. I love them. I'm surprised that I do. But as with a number of things, they've definitely proven to be game changers. Okay, quick training update. Obviously, the Hacking Ultra project culminates in me attempting a 100-mile foot race. But our way of getting there is not to try to turn myself into the ideal ultramarathoner. My life and my goals are bigger than this one project objective. We hear a lot lately, go slow so you can go fast. Well, I'm gonna turn that on its head. I'm gonna go fast so I can go slow. As you've been hearing since episode 1, we generally follow a 4-phased approach in our periodized training and nutrition program. Stage 1, rest and recovery. Stage 2, peak base, where we build our aerobic base. Stage 3, specified training. Stage 4, taper and race. We're still going to follow this general methodology to get to the 100-mile, but our step 1 is going to stop before then. The focus right now is building a base of strong bones and muscles and enough cardiovascular fitness to do the things we want to do. This means focusing on mobility and strength training, high intensity training, developing those fast twitch muscle fibers, developing that anaerobic cardiovascular system. In terms of running, I'm going to start with a 5K. I'm going to turn myself into the best 5K'er I can. As I mentioned in the 30-day update, I'm going to use Park Run as my weekly training and measurement activity. And I'm going to start by finding the fastest comfortable pace I can maintain for 5K. And I'm going to work to build that pace faster and faster. At some point, I'll start incorporating 10K and 15K, but I'll focus on making this a run. I will probably incorporate some road races, 5K, 10K, half marathon. And when I have the strong, flexible, mobile, vital, vigorous self that I want to start with, then we will look into an ultra marathon training program and start building our endurance. That's supposed aerobic based. The good thing is that's where I started from originally. Sometime else I'll give you my full running history, but my current running incarnation began as long distance hiking. I was doing 12 to 20 mile days hiking, carrying provisions on my back for 1 to 3 days. And I started running first to chase daylight. In certain situations, I don't like hiking at night, so I started running just to get to my camp before the sun went down. But then I discovered I love it. And that's why I rapidly went into the half marathon, 50K. As a hiker, walker who occasionally runs. So once again, I'm gonna flip that over. I'm gonna become a runner at the short distance, build form, build a strong base, and then when it comes to applying endurance to it, that's old hat for me. So I've been sitting on this park bench too long. I'm ready to get going. Hiking back to the car. If it's less than 10 miles, I might have to keep going. So I made it back to the rental car, and yes, I walked around the police station so that my Garmin watch would show at least 9 miles instead of 8.89. As you see, my ego is firmly intact, trapped in my karma like everybody else. But even though it's impossible, I have vowed to escape it. Thanks for coming along with me on this one. I needed that so bad. Now I need to get back to base camp, get some work done there, and then I have an appointment with my favorite chiropractor, Dr. Jared Wiskin with Vitality Sports Chiropractic. And then I think Claudia and I are going to find some trails after that. Stay tuned for the bonus round. Sunset at Roswell Mill. Want to know how little I've been going barefoot lately? Look at how white them feet are. I need to rectify that. I'm super stoked to get a tune-up from Dr. Wiskin here, and you guys will meet him soon. He just agreed to do a full-length interview, so watch for that coming out. I'm gonna go see if I can get a little more right to plumb.